day 2, we're in the thick of it, in amongst the cactus and the thick shrubs. It's been a tough couple of days, but we're trying something different today. Moved to a different spot, a couple of miles on the bike to get in here, and we're pushing in through some thick stuff, hoping to come out onto a little bit of an opening in a field and a water source. So we've got the wind in our face, we'll push up, hopefully there's something in the field up there. Bumped into a few people up here, that's expected. Public lands, draw hunt. Anyway, here we go. Well, another long day. We had made plans to just do a morning sit, go back to our accommodation and then come back tonight, but things got a little bit out of hand. We went for what was supposed to be a relatively short walk and ended up spending 4 or 5 hours just walking around, checking things out. So we had a nap under a tree, pulled whatever food and water we had together and just hung out during the hottest part of the day, and now we've all gone back to our respective sits for tonight. I've come back to where I was last night, where I saw that Nilgai with about 10 to 15 minutes of shooting light left, so hopefully I get a better shot at it. I think it might have saw me last night when I made some movements, because it did a right hand turn to the right after I pulled my phone out and whipped it up to get some footage, so I won't be making that mistake tonight. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We've got, like I said, about 90 minutes left. We're just going to settle in here and we'll see how it goes. bit of a road that you could just see. And there is a Nilgai boo pile right on 20 yards away from me. I'm kind of tucked into this little corner here, just off the road. So if one comes out to that boo pile, I can stay seated or even on my knees and it'll be a 20-yard shot. You can hear one of the boats in the background, the fishing guys are out. Anyway, we're going to settle in, see how it goes. I've got a Nilgai. 15 yards into the bush. I just stood up and it looked at me, but I had this on. When it put its head down, I sat back down. I can hear it eating. It's about 10 yards from the road. I can't set this camera up, and I don't want to put it out on the road in case it sees it, because the sun will be reflecting off the lens. Oh man. I've got mixed emotions at the moment. I've been hearing some movement in here about 20 yards away since before shooting light. It is now. It's just gone 9:10. So it's been 3 hours. So I just took a shot at a cow Nilgai. It was staring at me and it started to walk off across the trail. So I drew back and it caught my eye and then turned the other way. Ran from about maybe 25, stopped at what I thought was 35. And I placed the 30 pin sort of right middle of her body line on the front leg. She took off and I watched her go in it and she was busting over trees running through, but I think she was just taking off. I'm not sure the shot was that great. Oh man. So I've texted the guys that I'm with. We're going to have to give this one at least an hour or two. I'm going to wait half an hour and I'm going to go up and have a look at the arrow. I'm still upwind of her and where she took off, but I'm not feeling great about this shot. Oh man. I've waited a little bit. I'm going to go up and see if I can find my arrow. I'm a bit disappointed in myself just thinking through all of that. I certainly let just let it get the better of me. I didn't settle in and do my proper shot process. I know I'm anchored well. I know I had my sight lined up. But I'm not sure if my release was great. Anyway, you can see where I was. I'll quickly range this. Yes, I'm 36 yards from 36 yards from where I took that shot. I'm pretty sure she was in here. It is the arrow. that's good blood. Just gonna smell it. So there's good blood on the arrow. So it gives me a little bit of relief, and there's no stomach matter on it. Oh man, I'm going through some mixed emotions again, so I feel like that might have actually been an alright shot. I don't know, I'm going to arrange myself to where I took the shot from. So I'm right at 50 yards. Sorry, I had the light sun there, but I'm right at 50 yards. And like you saw, we've got half an arrow. But there's blood on the ground on these leaves right here as well. So at least I've got a bit of a starting point now. I'm going to go back, collect my stuff, wait for the guys to come, and then we'll probably start this mission and see if we can't find her. Hopefully she's not hurting. I'm feeling a little bit better, but even still, we'll wait and see. Alright, so it's been an hour since I shot that Nilgai. I'm standing in a spot where I shot her. I'm going to walk up to my arrow and I'll show you where the fletchings are. We're probably going to give her another half hour. It's warming up pretty quick here, so there's a bit of a balance between giving her enough time to expire and obviously wanting to make sure the meat doesn't spoil. But anyway, we'll go for a walk. So here's where I was sitting, and this grey sort of bush here is right at 20. That next green one is at 30, and you can see the poop hole here, so that was at 22 yards. And so when she came out, she sort of walked out this way. You can kind of see back in there where I was, and she was quartering to at this point, at just over 20, and I just couldn't take a quartering to shot. I don't know enough about the animal, and I didn't want to try and plough through that front shoulder because, like I said on the earlier footage, it was surprising how big she was. Anyway, she kind of walked up here and then was about to walk off and was probably at 27 yards, and I thought, it's now or never. She was kind of broadside at this point, so I drew back, and that spooked her, so she wheeled around this way, ran up a bit. This tree just beside me is measured at 30, and then and this one over here is at 40. So she came up to about here and stopped, and I guessed that she was at about 35. I didn't have time to range. She stopped, was slightly quartering away, and I took the shot. And you can see down there, down near the bikes, I was tucked in the shade just down in there. So anyway, the wind was probably in my face, so I probably could have aimed a little higher, but like we saw before, I came up on the arrow, and we can see here that it's covered. It looks like some small bubbles on there, not a lot, hard to tell, but it is completely coated. And then on the grass, there is definitely some bubbles in that blood, so I'm trying to stay optimistic here. We'll go for a bit more of a walk and see where the fletching came out. So we've probably walked another 15 yards, and this is where the fletching came out on the ground, and you can see that it's the blood right up to the base of the fletching. In fact, there's just a little bit on there, so that's gone at least 24-25 inches in. If I just put that down, maybe we can get a bit of a close in. It looks like there's some small bubbles on this as well, so again, staying optimistic, but the challenge thing from here is, as you go up, there's probably another 40 yards before we get any blood sign, and that's a little disheartening and a little concerning. So I watched her run up and I noted the big cactus that we just walked past, and then this sort of bush. I've left my water bottle here as a marker, and that's probably, I'll zoom in here, it's not great, it's not easy to see, and on this dirt it doesn't show up well, but just down in there, that's the first bit of blood that I found afterwards. So it's this is right on about 95, 97 yards from where I shot her. Well, sorry, from my blind, and then about 60 yards from where I shot her. Now, I've had deer run 40, 50 yards without dropping any blood, and then they'll just open up, so I'm hopeful that's the case here. But anyway, as you can see, back in here it gets pretty thick. So we're gonna have to do a bit of a grid pattern in here. I did hear her take over a big tree or a big limb. I don't think she was crashing. I don't think she was expiring in there, but certainly it gives us a point to look at, and we might be able to find some blood on some of the limbs of the trees and things like that. Hopefully she is laying over there, but it's been just on an hour. We'll probably give her another half hour and then we'll get in and have a look. So here's the start of the blood trail, and there were 3 drops that I picked up that I showed you earlier. You see there's a trail there, and that arrow was pretty well coated. You can see there's a bit of a dung pile down in there from previous use. Looks like fresh hoof and a fresh branch that's been broken off. So it definitely looks like she's come in through here. No, it's not blood. Still see your track marks. Oh, there you go. All over the branch. That's at waist height. There's blood down on the bush here. Refuse. Oh, there we go. All over the grass. That's really coming out pretty quick. Just keep following this path. There's fresh hooves in here. So again, up at sort of waist to chest height on that branch. All over the shrubs there. All over here. Just a little bit on this branch. And some down in through here. Bro.
What you got there?
Wow, that's a big animal.
Beautiful. I mean, perfect shot. Look at that.
Oh man. Man, just like I said, through that front shoulder.